Hello geologists, welcome back to Sedimentary Rocks. So we just got done talking about weathering and erosion, and you guys have done a few activities on that. So we're going to move into deposition and compaction and cementation as the last 3 of the 5 steps to making a sedimentary rock. So as you can see in my notes, I didn't include another date because I didn't want to separate it. So we're just going to go ahead and read. Deposition. Water can carry sediment to a lake or ocean. Here, the material is deposited in layers as it sinks to the bottom. Deposition is the process by which sediment settles out of the water or wind carrying it. So, let's review real quick. We remember that weathering is the effects of freezing or thawing plant roots acid on other forces on rock. So, weathering is what breaks the rock down. Erosion is what carries the broken up rock away. And deposition is when the sediment settles after it's been carried away and it's going, and then it deposits, right? It settles. So, deposition is process by which sediment settles out. Process by which sediment settles out of the wind or water carrying it. So if you ever need a way to remember deposition, if you think of the word deposit, like you make a deposit in the bank, you drop off money in the bank, or you deposit something, you drop something off. It's the same idea as deposition is the process by when sediment drops out, when it leaves behind. So then we move on to compaction. Thick layers of sediment build up gradually over millions of years. The weight of new layers can squeeze older sediments tightly together. The process that presses sediments together is compaction. So then we have compaction and, oops, wrong button. Nope, wrong button. Close this. There we go. Process that presses sediments together. Process that presses sediments together. And I'm going to just add that this process can take millions of years. Because it's not an overnight thing, it happens over time. So we have deposition, compaction when it presses together, and then cementation. When compaction is taking place, some minerals in the rock slowly dissolve in the water. Cementation is the process in which dissolved minerals crystallize and glue particles of sediment together. Oh boy, let's try that again. Okay. Cementation, let's try reading that again so it makes more sense. Process in which dissolved minerals crystallize. Process in which dissolved minerals crystallize. And glue particles of sediment together. And glue particles of sediment together. So that's what cementation is. So let's review then our steps. So it starts out with weathering. Was when the rock breaks apart. We have 2 types of weathering, mechanical or physical weathering, and chemical weathering. And then we have erosion, which carries the broken up pieces of broken up rock away. Deposition, when the sediment settles out. Compaction, when the sediment presses together. And cementation, when it crystallizes and glues the sediment together. You'll notice in sedimentary rocks something that's different for sedimentary rocks than, say, igneous rocks, is that sedimentary rocks, you tend to be able to kind of see layers in a lot of it. Now, that's not the same for every sedimentary rock. You'll see, as you saw earlier, you saw conglomerate, which is just like a mixture of different things, and it definitely did not have any layers. Whereas sandstone, when you looked at the sample that was back there, you definitely could see it had these bands, these layers to it. And that's what makes it different from igneous rocks. Igneous rocks, they have crystals that grow in it, and you can tell for the igneous rocks, for the coarse-grained intrusive rocks, have those big crystals like granite, whereas The fine-grained, extrusive rocks didn't have that. And so it's important that you guys are making these associations, that you're able to kind of look at a rock and be able to tell, okay, this one has bands, this one's got to be sedimentary, whereas this one has these big crystals, this one's got to be igneous. So, that is the end of this reading. I want you to make sure that you're looking at this diagram here, because you will see this diagram come up again. Making sure you're knowing where weathering and erosion is happening, what deposition looks like, what compaction looks like, and what cementation looks like. In the next section, we're going to talk about the different types of rocks. So on that note, good luck, guys.